panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and Panel.
Coffee and time here on ON Radio. It's Monday, it's January 16th. It's Martin Luther King Day. Thanks for joining us on this federal holiday. This is Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is here.
I'm over
Good morning
here.
there to you, Dave.
Hi there.
And Tom Ward is here as well. Hi there, Tom.
Good morning. How
Nice
are
of
you
you
guys
to join us.
today?
Nice of you to join us on the holiday.
Yes,
Here we go.
that's fine.
All right, so Tom. So
He wasn't doing anything else, Joe.
that's right.
Don't let him fool you.
Well,
So,
I was sleeping. But
So Tom, the Patriots.
Wait a minute.
That's an inside
Inside
joke. I said, Tom, don't forget about coffee anymore. He goes, can we talk the Patriots? Sure. So there's nothing to talk about
It's a
right
little
now.
passe
so,
right now, Mr. Callahan.
But I was okay with the games that happened over the weekend. Happy Buffalo won. Happy Cincinnati won. Not too crazy about the Giants winning. But we'll see what happens tonight with Tampa Bay. So we just kind of move forward. Because I told Dave, I think it was last week. And you remember back when, you go back almost 20 years now, where the Patriots almost left town and went to St. Louis?
oh boy,
This
boy,
is
that's a
yeah.
good memory. No, I barely remember.
Oh, they were
but now
going
that
to
you,
move. James Orthwein was going to move him to St. Louis.
yeah, now
And
that you,
before the Kraft stepped in and took over, and I said, and it looked like they were going. So I said, I got to pick another team. I go, well, the Giants and the Jets. No, that's New York City. Buffalo was the next closest. I said, well, it's still New York, but well, they're red, white, and blue, close enough. If the Patriots move, I'm becoming a Bills fan.
Yeah,
so I always keep them in my back pocket
So they're
as the team to follow because they're the next in proximity. They're the next closest. So.
Yeah.
So I always like to see how they're doing.
well, Miami did well against them. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Tua didn't play though, did he?
No.
No. See, something's up with him, health wise.
Yeah.
Don't know if he'll be back. Anyway, so we'll see how things go there with the whole football
Buffalo
games.
has some really good fans. You know that. We both went to Buffalo on a
They got some
meeting,
bizarre fans
business meeting.
in Buffalo.
Well, when you're rooting for, they would have said the same thing about Boston before 2004.
Yeah, but only Buffalo.
And when you've got a consistently underperforming team, but you love the sport and you love the players, is that you have a whole different attitude on sports.
Bills Mafia is pretty big, but they also there's a group of people out there, in a very small minority, that like to bring inappropriate things to the game and throw them on the field.
No, you're kidding.
Oh no, that's true. Yeah,
Really?
so
They didn't talk about that when we were
they
at
try
the meeting.
they try to downplay that part of it.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
All right, so
But I watched the movie.
Yeah.
It was on the machine. And last night, Denise said, why don't we just watch this movie? We've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times, but
Let's watch it
still
again.
on the machine. Let's watch it. I'm in the mood to watch it again.
and it was.
Major League.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Well, it's a fun
It's a
story.
fun movie,
Even
yeah.
if you've seen the movie, it's
Yeah.
fun to watch it again because it's got so many little tidbits in it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you didn't catch the last time or something like that. I'm looking at it, and all I could think was, it is so wrong what they did to baseball in Cleveland. I mean, you look at all the different marketing things, and Bob Euchre, of course, plays the announcer Harry. What's
Harry
his
Doyle.
name? And he's just a laugh all by himself.
Yeah.
But every time he has like the pregame show, Teepee Talk.
Yeah.
And the Indians powwow nighttime program, and
Yeah.
I said,
Out on the wigwam.
right,
not like that
Friends of the
anymore.
Feather.
That's right.
All of these
Effing.
different marketing things that just everything fit, and you say to yourself, they gave all that up to become a guardian.
Yeah.
Parents, guardians. Nobody wants to be a guardian. If they wanted to be a parent, they don't want to be a guardian.
Right. Well, there was it's funny you say that because I've never seen that movie, Major League.
Oh, you should watch
It
it.
came up yesterday, and I'm sorry you got to go for a second, but I'll talk with Joe. I stumbled upon a show last night because I was tired of watching the same old, and it was a show on the baseball channel, a 1-hour show about Euchre. And I had forgotten all about. I mean, I remember, I know the name, and I didn't know any of this stuff about him. And
Him and his career?
And I'd forgotten that he had been on Johnny Carson
Yes,
100
Tom,
times.
that's right. 'Cause he's
Because
so funny.
Carson loved him so much.
just
Carson
so-
was like, this
great
guy is
stories.
unbelievable. And so they showed a clip out of Johnny Carson, and it was hilarious because he says, well, go back to your baseball days. What was your last year and your last game? And he goes, well, he says, it was never good. He says, they were throwing cans and bottles at me and nuts and bolts. And he goes, and that was just as I was leaving the house. And I thought, oh my God, this guy was good. And they gave him, they put him in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame in Cooperstown with the broadcasters. And he
his Hall of Fame speech is hysterical.
That's what they said. They said, they showed a couple of minutes of it, but he said, well, how long have I got? And they said, 5 to 7 minutes. He goes, no, I can't do that. He says it's going to be 15 to 20.
Yeah.
And they said, well, okay. And now it is the stuff of legend.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking to Bob Costas was there, I guess, and he said he didn't have. I told him, I said, well, maybe you can. He says, I'll just wing it. And they're like, no, this is the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Have a few business cards in front of you with just a couple of notes you can glance at, and it'll all come back. He goes, absolutely did not do that. And he stood there for 15 minutes without, and they showed about 3 minutes of it on the show last night, and it was just hilarious. And you see all these Hall of Famers behind, Willie Mays.
They're all crying, laughing.
They're laughing so hard. So, and
who was it you're talking about? I missed that.
Bob Uecker.
It is Bob Uecker.
You brought it up, and I had never heard of I've heard of the movie Major League. I've still never seen it. And they on Major League Baseball channel last night, they did a show, and it was on Uecker, who, by the way, is still among us and is now 88 years old.
Yeah.
Has he still broadcasting?
He's still broadcasting. He just does the home games for the Brewers.
I had no idea that he was a Brewers guy because my
just
daughter.
a little outside.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's one of the famous things. Just a little outside, and so. And I feel bad now because in my daughter's 5 years in Milwaukee at Marquette, I never got to. We talk about it, but I never got to go up there in the summer and take her to a baseball game. She did. She went to a couple of ball games, but I did not know the whole Uecker thing. But oh my God, he told a few jokes, and as I was talking about, he was on Johnny Carson so many times because Carson loved him. Carson thought he was terrific. So anyway,
that's good stuff.
Baseball when it's snowing outside. What could be better?
Watch Major League because it's Bob Uecker's great in it, and and he's such a minor character, but whenever he's on, he's very very funny.
Snow is starting to whiten things up out there, Joe. Just for those of us listening here on Monday morning. Just
all right,
to let you know about that. You want to give them that beautiful snow footage there. There you go. See, I told you it looks a little different.
Yeah, very nice out there.
So anyway, I did want to make the announcement. The fabulous Denise has the day off today. She has a very good union. It's a federal holiday, so nobody's out there taking your notes when you call.
Okay.
So I ran out of the studio to take the call,
Uh-huh.
and it was Janie from Medical Services and wanted to know if I was going to join in on their offer to give me 4% cash back on their new credit card.
Yes, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Of course, Janie was a recording.
Right.
So I don't have anything to report for the conversation here,
too
except
bad.
that if you're not Janie and you're calling in, let the doggone thing ring for a while because I got to go run out and get it.
So just had to went on a business trip over the weekend.
I heard about that.
To St. Louis, and it's funny because we talked about before I left how every airport does it a little differently than other airports. And Dave said, well, that's to keep the bad guys on their toes. And you're absolutely right. So this time I flew out of Logan, and the first TSA guy you walk up to, they want to see your boarding pass, and that's it. Okay? Oh, this is the first time I joined the 21st century. My boarding pass was on my phone. First time ever. Did not print it out, went whole digital. So you show your boarding pass to the first TSA person, and then they point you into the row that you go.
Right.
The next TSA person, they only want to see your license. They put you through the license, and they said, okay, go over there, and that's where your shoes and your belt, and take everything out of the bag. They looked at me, and because I put the bag up there, they said, oh, take out all cell phones and all laptops and all tablets and like that. And they looked directly like, sir, my cell phone's in the other case. Laptops and tablets out of the bag. I said, I don't have one. Oh. Okay. Got through just fine. But then coming back at the St. Louis airport, the first TSA guy wants to see your license and your boarding pass. And then you go up to the next person. They want your boarding pass. They want to scan it.
Yep.
it's wow. Everybody's different.
So it makes it very difficult for the bad guys to calculate
which way-
precisely
which
how
do
they're
you
going
need?
to do their thing.
Yeah. So and it works. Although I did see them in St. Louis patting down some woman had to be 89.
Yeah.
I said, "What? Are you
Why would they do
kidding?"
that? Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah, we heard a lot of stories about that. 90-year-old aunt.
Yeah.
Being and this this isn't a social media story because I actually spoke to the caregiver granddaughter who was bringing grandma through the airport, and they insisted that she get up and walk through the scanner out of her wheelchair.
Out of the wheelchair? Wow.
But you don't get it. She's in the wheelchair all the time.
yeah,
No. Have her walk through.
she can't walk.
Right. So she got up and she fell down. And they said, get up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Although I did see, the good TSA workers. There was a mom holding a baby, and they said, "Oh, you can come right through here because you're holding the baby." And the father went through as well. So the whole family went through, not
Yeah.
the usual stuff. I said, "Well, that's fine."
They just
I was okay
ad
with
lib
that.
so that nobody can predict what's going to happen when you go through.
Yeah, yeah.
But and of course, they let these stories get through. It turned out that the caregiver granddaughter ended up picking her up and helping her through the scanner.
Help her through?
They said, no, you can't be in the scanner with her, one to a customer.
So we just sit her down.
I mean, they were just being jerks.
I guess,
They were
wow.
just being jerks that day.
Just, I've only. Usually, you don't see too many. I mean, that's awful, frankly. But
That's TS.
Usually
That's the
it's-
federal government for you.
Yeah.
Don't mess with them people.
Usually, especially on Southwest, you've heard the miracle of Southwest, where there's 20 people in wheelchairs getting on the plane,
Yeah.
and then the plane.
Just so they can get an aisle seat.
And then the flight ends, and they all walk off the plane.
Yeah.
And we call that the miracle of Southwest. That they're all, like Dave said, they're all abusing the privilege just to get on the plane, and then they walk right off.
When I went through the scanning part, they said, "Okay, step out." They said, "Can you?" And I wear a necklace all the time. Can you lift it up? They had to feel underneath the necklace. Fine.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a
okay.
sternum.
All right. So anyway, but I flew Southwest.
Yeah.
And paid a little extra to be able to join the A group.
Oh yeah, to get
And they
on.
do the check-in for you,
Yeah.
which is actually a huge convenience. And so I was with the A group, and I was like number 40 or so, and worked out well because I like to sit. Normally, I like to sit in the back of the plane, and everyone rushes to the front.
Right.
And I was back there, so I flew from Boston to Baltimore, had the whole row to myself, which is what I was shooting for.
Yeah.
Excellent. On my way from Baltimore to St. Louis, that was full. And that one we had 3 in a row. And that one,
You're sitting with 300-pound guys on either side of you.
no, I was not. I was happy about that. There was actually a kid. He had to be 17 or 18 on the window
love
seat.
kids.
What I also found out about Southwest, if you're flying alone and you take the aisle seat, inevitably there's going to come late a family of 3 who want to sit together.
Right.
And they're going to ask you to move. They don't ask the person on the window seat to move. They ask the person on the aisle to move. Mm-hmm. And they asked me to move. But I just moved to another aisle seat.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And so they thanked me profusely. And so, okay. So
did they give
that
you
was
money?
fine. No, they just thanked me
All right.
profusely. And I got my cup of water and my Southwest snack. And you know what the snack is?
Peanuts, salted peanuts?
No, you don't get salted peanuts anymore.
No?
You
pretzel,
get
yeah.
little pretzels, Cheez-Its, and little pita chips. And you don't.
Yeah,
you
peanuts
don't-
are a banned substance.
Yes,
now,
you might
Dave,
be
know
allergic to
that.
peanuts
You're
now,
gonna
so
kill
you
people.
can't
Oh,
have peanuts
that's
anymore.
right. That's
So-
right.
so that-
Terrorists use peanuts.
So
I'm
that's
sure.
all you get on the
Well,
for
we
the
pay
snacks.
we pay the extra just to get the exit row. That's what my wife wants. She's
She
like,
likes the exit row?
Get it, yeah.
Well, sometimes the exit row is just 2 seats.
Leg room. We don't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's like, I mean, she wants to sit with me, but if she doesn't, it's not a big deal. She just wants to. She just wants to get the leg room.
Oh,
There's
okay.
just 2 rows that
Right.
have exit rows, and they have good leg room.
Yeah.
So she's like, let's try to get
But
those.
now I'm flying back home, and I took a look at my itinerary, and I'm flying back to Baltimore, and I have an hour layover in Baltimore, but I really don't. It's really half an hour because Southwest starts to board half an hour before you take off. I'm like, I better sit closer to the front of the plane, so I get that extra quickness off the plane and get to wherever I'm going. And I was number 30 31 actually. I said, all right, that's not bad. I'll be close to the front of the plane. I got on the plane. The first row was empty. I was shocked.
Yeah.
So I took it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sit with two other people because there's no way I'm getting the whole row to myself. And inevitably, no matter whatever my destination is, no matter what airline I'm on, and no matter what airport I'm in, my gate is the last one. Happens at Green. It happened at Logan. It happened in Baltimore. Happened in St. Louis. It is always the last gate.
You need the exercise.
I'm like, this
Joe.
is
Yeah, it's good
unbelievable.
for you.
And when we landed in Baltimore, and remember, I got a half an hour.
Yeah.
We landed and we left late. I really only when we landed, I got 20 minutes.
Yeah,
to get from to my next gate, and I'm in Terminal B. My gate, Terminal A.
Oh man,
Stop walking.
that's yeah.
And I made it there with 5 minutes to spare.
Yeah,
like
that's,
it was the last run. You can't walk any farther. You've hit the end of the building. I'm always the last gate. It's unbelievable.
Well,
but I
at least
made
you
it
have
on.
something to look forward to each time, Joe.
Yes. And now when I land and when I got on the plane in Baltimore, I was number 35 and got on the plane. The front row was empty again. I go, this is shocking. So I took it again. And there's good leg room in the front row
Yeah,
on the
man.
right-hand side.
well,
so
I guess, but what is it? People like the tray table because the tray table works differently.
it is. It's
comes out
it's
of the-
in the armrest.
out of the arm
if you can
and-
figure out where it
yeah,
is. But
yeah.
they said it's going to be so bumpy. The flight attendants, you stay in your seats. It's only an hour flight, and we're not serving anything. So it didn't really matter. So, so I was able to snooze out a little. So that was good. But I wanted the front row because it was my whole bus that I took to get to Logan. I was trying to get to the next bus, and the bus runs every 2 hours. And so
Every 2 hours now.
this is a different bus.
Oh, okay.
This is not the Logan Express.
Oh,
this
okay.
is something separate.
Okay.
And I was supposed to land at 12:15, and landed about 10 minutes to 1. That's how late we were. So I missed my 12:45 bus. All right, the next one was coming at 2:45. And so I am standing where the bus dropped me off. And at 2:45, here comes the bus, right by me, all the way to the other end of Terminal 2, or B, if you know where the terminals are in Boston.
Yeah.
So I started to make a run for it, and he took off. Because no one got on the bus. I now had to wait another 2 hours, because I was standing in the wrong spot. And what I found out later on, when the guy dropped me off, he was being nice. He didn't have to. He shouldn't have dropped me off where he did. He dropped me off because I was only on the bus.
Yeah,
He dropped me off at the Southwest Terminal. He should have dropped me off way down, and where I would have seen the sign.
Right.
Oh, this is where I get back on the bus. So there I am standing, waiting for it to be picked up, and blew right by. So I actually spent 3.5 hours at Logan Airport for no reason, other than I already paid for it.
They have nice restaurants.
And not to put a plug in, but I did have a Walt's roast beef sandwich, and it was delicious.
Really?
Yes.
At Logan.
At Logan, there's a Walt's roast beef. I actually went
It's
to.
funny. You can't get a good one in Warwick anymore.
I went to Mark Brancho at the Beef Barn,
yeah.
and I said, Mark, this is an idea for you to go to Green. I go, because Walt's making a killing in Logan. And he goes, oh, I know. But he talked about high cost and overhead
Way
and
high.
building and the ton of money he'd have to put in and then staffing it. He goes, he's happy with what he's got up here.
Yeah,
He'd know he'd make a lot of money down there,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of money
It's a lot of cost too.
up front
Right.
to get it up and running. And he goes, it's been thought of, but no, but Waltz was making a killing, and it was delicious, inexpensive. Jeez,
Dave, where did they go in Warwick? Because I know where they used
I
to
know.
be.
They,
think
they
they
used to be
closed,
all
didn't
over.
they?
They used to be all over Rhode Island, but Warwick, we would go. They were in a plaza
Yeah,
near the
Airport
airport.
Plaza, yeah.
And where did they go? I have no idea, but
Yeah.
I stopped going there because the quality went down, and this was back in the 90s.
Well, my wife grew up with it. She lived right down the street. And then she went to Beef Barn, and she was like, oh,
this is it.
this is way better. And
Yeah.
she loved Beef Barn.
Right.
And so she's turned vegetarian, which is the worst of all worlds, because then now she would just want lettuce in between the buns. It's no good. It's not the same.
Lettuce has gone
But-
up $2.
But but she loves Beef Barn. And,
All right.
when she's eating meat,
We're having a Beef
she'll
Barn.
be back. If the day ever comes where she starts eating meat again, I'll say, honey, we're going to Beef Barn.
Well, you can go.
I can go.
There you go.
I
All right.
do. Sometimes John Gregory comes up for a visit. That's what we'll
There you go. All right. More of Coffee and coming your way right here on ON Radio.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Tom Ward and Dave Richards. And they did they did announce they identified the man that was killed in that crash in Burrillville. 82-year-old man by the name of Ronald Houle, living in the Pasco section of the town.
Did you notice the pronouncer doesn't pronounce it right?
Pasco.
Yeah. No, there's a G on it.
Pasco.
Yeah. It's only people who don't know how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. They're still under investigation on the crash that happened on Great Road last week, and the other person has suffered non-life-threatening injuries. So, all right. And what was it, the Powerball jackpot that was over the weekend?
The big
What
one was
about-
Mega
what
Millions.
about-
Mega Millions, yeah. Was I told Dave it was the winning ticket was in Maine, and my son did not call me, which means he didn't
Uh-oh.
win.
No.
He's not. No,
That's
he's not
pretty
a,
much the entire gross domestic product
of the
Maine.
state. Yeah. They, what, $1.3 billion? Yeah, that's right. But he's not a big lottery ticket buyer,
Yeah.
so I didn't expect him to win. So
I wonder. We always
And he
buy a
didn't.
few tickets, and my wife dreads winning because she's like, this ruins your life. And I said, well, it doesn't have to. I mean,
If you do it right.
it could, but I came up with a question, and I wish there was the lawyer in the audience or who knows tax.
We
law.
love it when guests come up with their own questions. We don't have to work so hard.
Well, I just wonder what the deal would be, because we have discussed it. You talk about what would you do, and in our case, for something like $1 billion, in our case, I go back to the woman in Florida, and I would say probably 95% of that money would immediately be put into a foundation. A foundation would be created. We would not be spending it. My wife and I would not be spending. Would we save a few million? Of course we would. Would our kids get $1 million? Of course they would. But we'd create a foundation. And so the question is, if you create a foundation, it's all a donation to the foundation. Does it become tax-free? Because you always hear the stories about, well, you're going to lose $400 million in taxes and stuff. And I understand that. I get it. It's just taxes. But if you immediately created a foundation with an attorney and then put it all in the foundation, I'll bet you there's a line, 3B on the lottery thing, that these greedy states all say, oh, no. You're going to pay
We get our
us
cut,
first.
yeah.
You're not going to try any of those stunts. We take our money first, and then you
then
get your
you
money,
can create
and
your
then you do what you
foundation.
want.
I think it's the rule.
But I
that-
don't know.
It's the rule. The rule is that only natural persons can play the lottery.
Might be. I
The
don't-
companies can't. A company can buy the ticket, but
Yeah.
they're giving the money to a natural person.
You and you may be right. I don't know. But it's like you're giving the money to a natural person, but then I'm immediately making a donate. In other words, they always say see the lawyer first, and you go
Yeah.
to the lawyer first, and the thing's in a safe deposit box, and you create a foundation before the thing's even cashed, and then you do that. But to your point, it's like no, they're
You
giving
can
it to
take
you.
your proceeds
the
and
state-
then
pay
give
your
it to a
taxes,
foundation, but that they will not give it to the foundation.
And
The state will get their money first.
yeah.
The loophole
I gotta
is-
believe
And the
there's
federal
a-
government.
The loophole is only natural persons can play. Only natural persons can win.
Yeah.
That's the way I understand it.
I know some people who might not fit the bill, but you could very well be right, and that may be the loophole that says to the federal government and the state government, we always get our share.
Oh, sure.
Because
absolutely.
I gotta believe they've thought of that, and they want their money. And so, congratulations, State of Maine.
Yeah.
The big winner over the
Really.
weekend.
Now, speaking of Southwest, because that's the airline I flew on, by the way, and we had the story today that Sheldon Whitehouse, he's demanding answers.
Oh,
He's 3 weeks late
about what? About the
about what
Southwest
happened
thing?
with Southwest.
He's not
Why
the
didn't
only
he
one.
why didn't he talk to the Secretary of Transportation?
He's not the only one.
Buttigieg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
I know he's not the only
Elizabeth Warren's up there at the podium, banging on the podium, saying,
But they're
"Poo
late.
on Southwest Airlines.
but they're
We
late."
demand an explanation." You know, before it was over, before the new year fell,
one. Yeah.
you had the explanations.
I know.
From the CEO of the airline, from the pilots of the airline, from the whole thing.
And what they're
It's
gonna do
been
to fix it.
screwed up for years.
And we're
We're
gonna fix
trying to fix it. It's on a timeline to be fixed. We'll try to move it up after this because we were hoping that nothing bad would happen. But yeah, we know what happened, and we were powerless to do anything about it once the cards started falling.
But now we demand answers. I want to be a U.S.
they're
Senator.
No. You know,
Politicians.
Sheldon Whitehouse, the first time I met him, maybe you had the same experience, but I can't speak for you, Tom. But I know that you know him, and I know him. We're on first name basis. And so when he was here in Rhode Island, I met him. I didn't meet him earlier. I met him when he was Attorney General. And he impressed me as one of the brightest bulbs in the string. Here's a person who had intellect, who understood what was going on. He understood how to get things done, and he just impressed you as a smart boy. House of Representatives, Jack Reed, regular guy. Mm-hmm. Goes down there, then becomes a senator. Dope. Sheldon Whitehouse. Dope. They just
Must be
make,
something
they
in the water
release
down there.
public statements that make you cringe because they sound so uninformed and stupid.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I understand the beltway and the talk, and there's a certain, when you get into a job, there's a certain way you talk because that's how senators talk. And we get that there's a game to be played. But when you just consistently always release statements that show ignorance and stupidity, I don't want to vote for you anymore. I mean, if that's, and I don't want to vote for anybody to replace me, because if it's going to happen to another human being, I don't want to be responsible for sending another person down there to be like that. I mean, it's just like you get the Washington D.C. lobotomy.
Right. Well, that is what a lot of people
Did
say.
you do you see the same
What
thing?
happens to them when they get to Washington? The people wonder about that. You know, it's like what's the
What
deal?
happened?
And yeah, no, I mean, I have the same level of respect for Sheldon Whitehouse as you do. You know, it's just I was never impressed.
And
I
they're
thought,
doing
I thought
it
we
to
got
Dave
it right. He ran
Cicilline,
for
too.
governor. Yeah, of
You
course.
spend time with Dave Cicilline, and this guy impresses you positively. But the emails and the press releases we get, oh my goodness,
I don't
David.
even think they see them.
And I told them that.
all
By the way, I
Democrat.
had all four of them in a room because once a year all the broadcasters get together with the delegation, you know, and we all exchange things like that. And it came to my turn, and I said, guys, will you knock it off with this party babble? Because I know you and you and you, and I don't know you so well, Angevin, but you know he's a different guy. I mean, now we got Seth, which is probably going to be worse. But these three guys, you folks represent me. I know you to be really intelligent people. The party keeps sending out babble,
Right.
and it makes you guys look like idiots. Will you knock this stuff off? Do you even see this stuff? Oh, yes, I approve of everything that goes out. I said, no, you don't.
Should say that doesn't embarrass you.
But in front of all of them, and in front of, you know, the general manager, Channel 12, 10, 6, and Cumulus, iHeart, and the rest of them, I'm telling them, no, you don't. Yeah. You don't see everything that goes out under your name.
They don't.
But if you did, you'd cringe like I do.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program right
I wasn't
now.
popular that day, Joe.
I bet not. No, they didn't send you over a beer afterwards?
No, they weren't happy talking about that.
Time for the weather forecast being brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Cloudy skies today with a high near 36 degrees. A mixture of rain, snow, and freezing rain all day. Little or no snow accumulation is expected. Northwest winds to 23 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Overnight low of 28. Tuesday's weather increasingly cloudy with a high of 46. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 48. Thursday, 80% chance of rain and snow, high of 42. Friday, 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high of 43. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 40. And on Sunday, partly sunny skies and 42.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, clouds, light snow, and 32 degrees. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Information at positivecoach.org. As we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, January 16th, we remember the impact that this great leader had on our nation and the world. His powerful message of hope and unity continues to inspire us, and we are grateful to Jerry's Bluffing Boutique, 285 Main Street, Woonsocket, for supporting this important holiday. Let us work together to create a brighter future for all. And remember to visit Jerry's Bluffing Boutique online at bluffingBoutique.com.
Rhode Island offers beautiful seasons for us to enjoy. This is Armin Randolph from the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency. During winter months, we need to be prepared for winter emergencies. Create a disaster kit and an emergency contact list. Be sure to have batteries, water, non-perishable foods, and charge your cell phones before an expected storm. Let's be prepared, be ready, and stay safe. For more information on keeping your family safe, visit riema.gov. This message is sponsored by the Office of Governor Dan McKee and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
It is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here with Tom Ward. Dave Richards stepped out of the studio, but he shall be back. One more thing I wanted to say about because we talk about Southwest Airlines and Sheldon Whitehouse is demanding answers. And a lot of people said this when they hit the big snafu. I'm never going to fly Southwest again. And if you're one of those people that lost their luggage for like a week, I can understand you people saying that. And I actually considered changing my flight. I go, Southwest is in disarray. Maybe I should go somewhere else. I said, no, they'll fix it, and it'll be better by the time I have to fly. Right. And I'm telling you, the majority of people all thought like me, because I had full flights on Southwest, and people either have a short memory or they go, oh, okay, they'll just this was a snafu that took place during a week. It's only
going to take 2 or 3 days to
They're
fix.
They're going to fix it,
and they'll be back. Yeah.
And so everything was fine, and we flew on time. It's so funny. When we flew from Boston to Baltimore, the pilot came on and said, it's like going to the dentist when you go to your brother, and he says, oh, Tom, it's a small cavity. No, it's not. All cavities are the same size.
Just give me a big Novocaine.
And so they came out. Oh, it's going to be a little bumpy on the way down. So let's be prepared for it. I mean, we had a bumpy ride down. But now we're coming back from Baltimore back to Boston, and this pilot did it the opposite way. Oh, it's going to be rough. We're rocking and rolling all the way to Boston. Pretty smooth. Really? It's amazing. Dave's got a note.
You guys still talking about your trip? My goodness.
Yes. Well, the point,
you don't see me splurting all over about my trip down to Newport this weekend.
Oh, that's a truck drive. No, the point I was trying to make is a lot of people said I'm never going to fly Southwest again because of what happened. And and I said I even thought about changing. I said no, everything will straighten itself out, especially in a couple of weeks when I'm going to fly. And a lot of people thought like me. My flights were basically full. So people are not leaving Southwest and drove, so they're not going anywhere.
Well, it's because they fessed up right away and they said,
"That's right,
we screwed up. We've got an old system. It should have been replaced a long time ago. It wasn't because they were penny pinching. We've got it on the list to be replaced. It's all our fault."
Yeah, so we'll take care of it.
I mean, what else could you expect of somebody?
People appreciate hearing that.
Of course.
Dave's got a note that's been called in, 766-1240. What's it say, Dave?
Well, it's a follow-up on our talk about the Cleveland Indians baseball club.
That's Guardians.
And, what's that?
That's Guardians.
I know. But the Cleveland Indians baseball club is the subject of the note. Between the years 1960 and 1975, the Indians actually set a record by having 15 straight non-winning seasons. And it was 14 completely the other side of halfway really bad, and 1 year at 500 statistically, which is still you lose.
Yeah.
So there's 15 straight losing seasons, and they earned the nickname, I'm being told by the caller, of not the Erie Warriors, but the Mistakes on the Lake.
Mistake by the Lake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
that's-
I didn't remember them being quite that bad, but I remember they were bad when I was a Red Sox fan and a kid. It was like they're bad.
when
But they had a sense of humor about being bad.
back before things got really great with the Patriots, you must remember the 2-14 years, the 1-15
Oh, yeah,
years,
yeah.
and then they hired Bill Parcells, and the next year they won 5 games, and I was ecstatic. We won 5 games.
Yep.
Things are looking up. So yeah, when you get to 500, you're thrilled.
That's right.
We made it to 500. Whew. things are going in the right direction. All right, other things going on. It's we talk about what's in the water down there in Washington D.C. What is in the water in North Kingstown?
I don't
It's
know.
just
when.
more bad
know,
stories
I know.
come out of this town in the last month between the superintendent and the city council, and now it's a middle school teacher. He was accused last year of stalking a preteen girl. He is now on paid leave.
Yeah,
Pretty
they ma-
sweet
they
deal.
ma-
He's on paid leave
they
until the
made a
end of the
deal.
year,
They made
and then
a
he
deal.
and then he resigns.
They made a deal. They didn't want him back in the classroom.
Oh yeah.
But he has union protections and stuff like that. So they said, okay, listen, let's just not get into any litigation about this. We'll pay you your salary. You ain't coming back into the classroom. Give us your ID and everything else. And then just go away. And
then
if
you're
you
done.
do all these things,
We won't arrest
will
you.
not fire you,
Yeah.
which will be on your record.
His name's not
And
being
you get your pension,
released.
most importantly of all.
So it was last spring, almost a year ago, a family accused him of isolating and stalking a girl beginning in 2017. The girl was 12 years old at the time.
Wow.
So something's in the water down there in North Kingstown.
Yes. It's cohugs, Joe.
Something else is down there. So they had the big unveil in Boston over the weekend. It is MLK Day, and this is the big MLK statue.
Right.
It's huge. It's about 25 feet by about 26 feet. It's a monster thing. It's made out of steel. I think it's made out of steel.
They usually use bronze because
okay.
it doesn't corrode.
Okay. And it was made by an artist. The artist decided he was going to call it the Embrace. And what it looks like, it's 2 arms hugging each other. And it's supposed to be Dr. King and his wife, Coretta, hugging each other. But all you see is arms. And some people see something else when they look at it. And
Something
they're
inappropriate
kind of
for
they're
public.
kind of disturbed by it. There's those people. Some people see something completely different. And then other people are complaining, how come his face or their heads are not in this sculpture? So there's a lot of criticism.
It's art, Joe.
It is art, and it's all subjective. And some people love it. They think it's great. You can see the arms, you can see the fingers, and they think it looks wonderful. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, to use a good cliche.
guess.
You will have to take a look at it yourself.
I will.
And you decide what you want. What do you see when you look at it?
Yeah.
So
I'll have to.
take a look at it, and you go, But now that I put the thought in Tom's head, that's all he's going to be looking for is the inappropriateness of what,
No. I'll try to be objective
about it when you take a look at it. Okay, okay, and it is MLK Day.
Yes.
So,
So today's the day I should look at it.
you should take a look at it. And this is what happened, over the weekend. They're still looking for that woman in Cohasset. And, they're going on. We're going on 2 weeks now. Oh, it is bronze, by the way, that sculpture.
It
Yeah,
is.
we're going on 2 weeks looking for that woman, Anna Walsh. No, still, well, they won't tell you if they have any leads of where she might be. They keep looking in Peabody and some trash. But nothing's been found over there other than evidence to go against her husband, who's turning out to be a real beauty. If you believe everything that they're saying about this guy. And he's still only accused of misleading police. He hasn't been charged with anything else. So,
Well, we should have learned from Idaho that the police are not going to say much. They're not going to tell you along the way, well, we think this, oh, we found this evidence. And they're not going to say a word until
no, they
So
hold very
they
close
have-
to the vest.
have their man or woman and they're sure about things. So
And I'm sure they went to the judge. Okay, we got this guy in misleading the police, but here's everything else we think about him.
suspect,
And okay, so the bail judge, $500,000. So he couldn't get out
Not
of jail.
everybody
so-
can pay that, Joe.
That's right, and this guy can't.
He's not on a
He's up.
Southwest flight.
He's got a court. He's got a trial coming up for fraud charges. That we were aware
That's
of
right.
that?
He was a naughty boy before.
It's yeah.
Well,
Something
he was
to
an
do with
alleged
fraud.
naughty boy before.
Yeah. So
he's a colorful character.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. He's a character.
Leave it to the guy who's a writer to come up with just the right words.
Well, you don't want to say anything too bad. We're not sure yet.
Yeah,
but-
that's
Well,
true.
that's right. That's right. So, all right. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Skeletal remains found inside the University of California, Berkeley building.
Good move.
University of California at Berkeley has buildings that are unoccupied.
Must be a conservative. They don't need DNA for that.
I just wonder if it's just a joke. Is this one of those?
I hope.
Did someone
I-
just put it there soon? But it's weird. This building, according to them, skeleton at a residence hall located a mile from the main campus, but apparently has not been occupied in many years.
the residence hall?
The residence hall.
Oh.
And
And they
it's
didn't
just-
bulldoze it?
No, I don't think. Geez, do colleges ever bulldoze their buildings? I say we might be able to use this someday.
Well, if it's this is California. If it's 20
Right.
years old, they'll build another one. They get plenty of taxpayer money. They don't care.
We're gonna build a nicer one. So,
Yeah.
but they're saying it's unclear how long the skeleton's been there. Alameda County Coroner's Office could not immediately determine a cause of death, so it's not a plastic skeleton. It's someone playing a
Right,
joke.
right.
And the police say there's no reports of any missing individuals from the campus community.
Well,
So
it
what
would
could
have
it-
been years and years ago. There was never
Right.
any missing people.
Well,
Could be homeless.
they don't know how far back
Someone
they go.
homeless went in there. They might have thought, no one's using this building. No one's going to notice me. They're homeless, and they pass away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's just my guess. California's got plenty of homelessness, and
Mm-hmm.
it is an abandoned building, so I suppose it's possible.
They don't say if the skeleton was like wearing anything or was it just the bones. And it's funny, if the building is unoccupied, the police got a report that the skeleton was found in here. Well, who's going in there? What are you doing in
Right?
that building?
Somebody found it. Yeah,
Why are you in there?
the next homeless guy found it. And was grossed out.
And decided to tell the police about
Yeah,
it?
it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. In better news, archaeologists in Israel say they found a prehistoric ostrich egg.
That's kind of similar news, actually. Archaeologists.
Yeah, but a prehistoric ostrich egg in Israel. So, and Israel's not known for their ostriches.
Yeah.
I wonder how it makes you wonder how it got there.
Well, they are now.
Yeah. They think the egg is old as 7,500 years old. Due to them being found near a fire pit, the Israeli Antiquities Authority says they have been collecting. They may have been collected by desert nomads who used the campsite.
And I wonder if,
I wonder how they determined it was an ostrich.
like,
egg.
well, that's the thing is, was there a growing skeleton inside, or did they have breakfast on Sunday? And, like what was the egg? What would it have been used for? I wonder if the archaeologists know that.
Well, they're probably used for food. Or to attract other bigger animals.
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, but they didn't crack it open and say, let's eat.
I
let's
don't
eat
know
it.
what they did. Hard boiled.
But with the cost of eggs, you might think of doing that.
They should.
Since it's and what does ostrich eggs taste like? Taste
I
like
don't
chicken?
know. It tastes like chicken. Yeah.
After 7,500 years, I wouldn't want to know.
I know.
We're not going to give it a test.
I've seen the duck eggs in the store. Has anyone ever purchased duck
No.
eggs? Dave, have you ever had duck eggs?
No, we came across duck eggs one time when I was a kid, and we brought them home. They were larger than the regular
They are
chicken
bigger.
eggs, and I don't recall liking the taste.
Oh, you did cook them.
Mother
Okay.
did, yes.
Yeah,
You buy a dozen, you might as well cook them.
but you can't buy a dozen duck eggs. From what I've
No.
seen, you can only buy 4 at a
A
time.
couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, because they're
Too
bigger
expensive. And,
and they're probably really expensive as well.
yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't had them myself, so and I don't plan to.
I don't try new things. I'm good. I've
When you hit a certain age,
I've made
that's
it
it.
this far. People, let's go to this restaurant and try something. Don't need to.
No.
Do they have pâté chinois on the menu?
Oh,
You know.
jeez, Tommy, that's absolutely curmudgeonly.
Yeah, it is. It is. You reach 69, you're like, I'm good here. I'm
Jerry Seinfeld has a whole spiel on when you hit a certain age, I'm done making friends. I don't want to make any more. I've got enough already. It's kind of the same thing.
Well, that's
I don't
kind of
wanna try
stupid
anything
because
new.
they all start dropping off and dying. So you
That-
ought
that's
to
true.
yeah,
Well,
at
that's
least
true.
replace attrition.
That's true. The food thing, though, leave me alone.
Yeah, you all sell the new stuff. Yeah, I just want a steak and a burger.
Although
or
I will say
and
this,
chicken.
my son has fallen for a young woman. She's lovely, and but she's vegan, which is like, I mean, it's not only
That's
no
right.
meat, but no eggs, no
No
dairy.
dairy. Yeah.
And there is a new restaurant on the east side, well, on Water Street. Used to be Barnsiders, and it's a vegan restaurant. I can't think of the name of it. They get a good write-up in Rhode Island Monthly this month. But anyway, we went there, and the food was delicious. I mean, it was really good. I not just me pretending and lying. It was delicious.
But what did you have if you had to have something new then?
It was kind of a burger kind of thing, but it was
Tofu,
a
portobello.
No, it wasn't tofu. No, it was beans and stuff, and it was, seasoned whatever they seasoned, and a lot of veggies.
Yeah, the
and
plant
stuff.
lobby will kill you.
And
though.
it was very good.
That's what's coming up next,
The plant lobby?
Oh yeah, they're going to have an organization just like
haven't screwed
PETA
up.
for plants.
They haven't screwed up fossil fuels enough.
You have no idea. You can't hear them cry. You can't hear them scream when you cook them in the stir fry.
So you can't have
this
carrots and
go,
potatoes
yes, you know
anymore?
it's going this way. And
My wife isn't.
Yeah, I'm being satirical, but if you think about it for a minute, there's a little truth in there.
My wife is not that extreme, but she feels the same way. I have gardens around that's what I do, and that's my hobby in the summer is flowers around the house. And she won't let me. I'm like, the whole idea is to cut these now and then just have a little thing
Yeah.
in the house. And oh no, don't do that. I enjoy them outside. Let them live. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
So we're moving towards Soylent Green, is what you're saying.
Soylent Green is people.
Is people. That's right. That'll be the only thing and they're dead
Can't
people.
do
so-
that. Can't do that. The vegans won't eat Soylent Green.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
what
That's
will
true.
they eat? What will they eat then? Popcorn? Is popcorn okay?
I suppose.
Oh,
No,
so
that's
it's
the
plant-based.
GMO.
That is plant-based. All right, more coffee ants coming up. Stay tuned.
What does it mean that our customers are our owners? It means that we don't have shareholders like a bank. We have owners, like you. And though we don't have traditional shareholders, we do share. We share values, expectations, and yes, profits, in the form of better rates, lower fees, and dividends. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
1, 2, 3, go.
Go where?
Tell them.
Tell them what?
Never mind. That is Manny Brando, and I am Virginia. And together we bring you the Manny Brando Show every Sunday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. over ON, AM, and FM.
I like to say something now.
No, time's up. It's Sundays, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m.
Too early for me.
Too
You
bad.
can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. Tom Ward is here. Dave Richards is here. And in case you want to get in with the rest of everybody, for some reason, Prince Harry's newly released memoir, Spare,
Isn't he too young to have a memoir?
he's in his 20s, yeah, not much has happened.
Gotta make money.
But it's the fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time.
Oh, give me a break. It said calling it
That's a
nonfiction.
shame.
Well, yeah, it's because it's a memoir. So it doesn't go with the fiction section.
You're saying you think there's a little fiction blended in there, you think?
Well, first of all, a memoir is completely subjective to one point of view.
Right.
The observer.
Yeah.
Right. And anybody here grow up having memories of something that happened in your family and your parents remembered it a totally different way?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
it's just one person's perspective,
Point
their
of view.
point
Yeah.
of view. And so you can't really call that
So
nonfiction,
you're
can
throwing
you?
the flag
Well, you
on
can't- but you-
fiction, nonfiction.
You can't call it fiction because it's not. He's telling it from
I
his
know,
point of view. It's
it
his
is
life.
nonfiction. It's all his point of view. But of course,
Yes.
you're right. Does that mean it's all accurate?
Well,
That's
no,
right.
that's
No,
different.
That's the problem.
That's
when you
different.
say that it's nonfiction, people think it's the truth. And truth is
It is his truth at that moment.
truth is the most nebulous thing on the whole doggone
Now,
planet.
the book details Harry's tumultuous relationship with his father, and now King Charles, and his brother, Prince William, gives new insights into his life in the royal family. Now, during the first day of its release, Spare sold nearly 1.5 million copies, blowing away
Million.
previous. What's that?
Million.
It was
He said billion. It can't
1.5
be that many.
million copies.
Yeah, okay.
Million copies.
They
Okay.
can't print that many books.
Blowing away previous record holder Barack Obama's A Promised Land, whose first day sales totaled less than 900,000 copies. The only other books to have sold more on their first day were several of the Harry Potter sequels. No, those are fiction, Dave. All right,
Oh, they are?
Harry Potter.
You have to prove that. That was one person's point of view, the writer. of a dream they
Well,
had.
J.K. Rowling will tell you
I-
it's all fiction.
Yeah, but he's gonna get written off pretty soon. I
but he
would
just
think.
look how much money he just made.
Yeah, no,
selling
I'm
the-
not saying he's
selling
going to
his
be
book.
broke. He's not
Yeah.
going to be among the homeless in that place in San Francisco. I'm just saying, he's
He's doing his 15
I
minutes of
think
fame
I
right
think
now.
Dad's going to say, I don't know. What I'd say is, you're always my son, but you are done with the
well, the
monarchy. You're out. You're out.
well, Harry said that when he left. He didn't want any more
Well,
part of this.
take away his name, take
And-
away the allowance, take away
Yeah.
all of it. Just,
And he's already been asked, Harry, because the coronation will be this summer. He's not going.
yeah. And that,
Or
that-
he's
that
not
would be
invited,
the other
whichever way you
thing
wanna
is-
look at
That's the other thing I would say to the press, is I would say, I'm never commenting on my son again. Don't ask. That does not mean we don't talk, but never ask me to comment on him again. And have William by his side and say the same thing. We're done. We're not talking about this ever again. And
Don't ask me anymore.
He's
Yeah,
out.
I can't go there,
He's
Tom.
out.
I
Well, no,
can't go
I'm
there.
just saying. But as a father
The
and a
ever
brother,
again thing is what pushes my button. No
what?
flag, red flag, the ever again stuff.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Everything changes
in
on
the
this planet.
monarchy. I'm not talking about in personal life. And the ever again, all I'm saying is we're never talking. We're never gonna. When you invariably have questions about what Harry's doing with his life in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
the answer's going to be no comment. That's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no comment.
That's all I'm saying.
But you don't say never a comment again.
I would.
That's yeah. Well,
Because
you
Charles
would.
can.
You would,
because
but I
he's-
wouldn't.
He's only got a few years left anyway.
Wow, you think he's kicking
is
off pretty soon?
I'm not quitting. God, he waited a long time. I don't think he's
Yeah.
going to live like his mother.
Yeah.
You know, although he certainly got good genes. There's no doubt about that. My God, the two of them.
And her mother lived into her 90s
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Other things that are going on.
they got a good health care plan too. I'll bet.
Oh, England's got a great health care plan.
No, they don't have the England health care plan. They have the monarchy health care plan. Little different.
I just saw that. Speaking of healthcare, it was out of Canada. Story out of Canada, where the wife died. The husband, the wife died. Husband said they waited 7 hours in the emergency room to be seen.
Canada has terrible health care.
And she
England
died
has
of whatever
terrible
the
healthcare.
infection that she had. Yeah, and I'm like, and I've read that before. I said, that's Canada, and
Right.
their healthcare system's terrible.
People think, oh, we're going to go, and we're going to do it in America. It's a matter of time. You know, the Medicare for all, people are going to say, doesn't that sound good? Medicare for all. We're all going to be
Covered
SCR, you know, and continue to.
until you need it.
We're all going to be in big trouble. And that's government health care, and that's what you're going to have. Who's the other one? Liam Neeson's wife. He was married to the woman who was in Parent Trap, the second Parent Trap. Lovely.
Not
I
Lindsay
can't-
Lohan.
No, the mother.
Oh, okay.
With Quaid, Dennis Quaid. Anyway, that was Liam Neeson's wife. She was skiing in Quebec, got hurt, went to the
Sounds so
hospital.
familiar. Yeah.
Took many hours, and she died.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was internal. I don't know what happened, but she didn't get proper care and died. And you know, it's one of those things where
Tom, it's what happens. You and I have friends in common, people that you know, that I know, and I can tell you they were killed by insurance companies because they were sick. The insurance company wouldn't allow the tests that would have revealed how sick they were and where they were sick, and so they didn't get treatment.
there's no doubt that there's
So, you know, there's a problem
problems
everywhere.
on both sides, but
Yeah.
but U.S. is better with insurance is better, and people get higher levels of care. We're a richer country for now, and it's just a matter of time. No, I mean the example I use is my wife's cousin, who grew up in England, had her mother in England, and mom was a smoker, and needed a hip at age 72, and they said
No,
too old.
really.
Too old. You know, we're not giving you a hip. And now how many Americans all get hips at 65 or I'm saying.
Yes, what's the
70,
cutoff
80.
age in
There
in
is
England?
no cutoff. Oh, 70.
England. Is
well,
it?
at the time when I was talking to my cousin, she said 70 years old. It's like that's it. No.
So you
hips,
just
no
live in
knees.
pain now
You
for the
live
rest
in
of your
pain
life.
and you die much faster because of it. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
And that's the plan. That's the plan.
That's the
Die
that's
fast.
the plan.
And they do.
Wow. I've always remembered this was a professional athlete. He tried to be a pro football player. He went into MMA for a while. His name is Brock Lesnar. He's now in pro wrestling, but he got an infection while he was in Canada, and the first thing I did was get the hell out of Canada.
Yeah.
And I am no way am I being
if
treated
you,
up there.
If you and everyone thinks that if you have the ability to get out of town,
Yeah.
you get out.
Okay.
Including Canadians who are all crossing the border in Detroit. I mean, if they have means, if they
Yeah.
have money, you get your wife in a car and you cross the border. That's what you do.
All right. Just wanted to bring this up. There's a situation down in Centerville, Virginia. Virginia parents are demanding a teacher to be held accountable for making kids act as slaves. I wish it went into a little more detail on this. It happened at Centerville Elementary School in Fairfax County. The principal sent a letter to parents saying it was meant to be a lesson on the economics of slavery, but he called it inappropriate and not, quote, culturally responsive way to engage students, unquote. He says staff met with those involved to use this as a learning moment for all teachers. So I wish they went into a little more detail on what does acting as a slave mean?
You know, my instinct tells me that it probably wasn't a bad lesson. It probably made a lot of sense, and it helped sink in with the kids.
Maybe.
However, you're in Virginia.
You're in the
this
South.
is 2023. Mm-hmm. You just don't touch that third rail. I mean, it's just, come on, man. What are you, crazy? Just don't
Can't do it
don't be
anymore.
dumb. No, you can't do it anymore.
So when they say held accountable, they don't say fired.
Like North Kingstown accountable? That'd be great.
I don't know.
Nothing better.
So that's what's going on down there. Now, Tom, you must be happy about this. Rihanna is the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year. I know Dave is just
Did not
beside
know
himself with
that.
happiness.
Did not know that.
I kept asking him how to spell Rihanna.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I know he kept saying, "Who? Who's that?"
I'm not far from you. I mean, I know the name. I know it's a star.
I know some Briannas, but I'm not a Rihanna.
Yeah.
I think I've seen her on TV once or twice. Couldn't tell you the slightest idea what she sings.
There's a pop star.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But usually you know a couple of tunes
No,
of
we
pop
knew
stars.
we knew Madonna when she went up. you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
But when
I was at
mentioned-
the most famous halftime show there in person. My only
Oh,
one.
no.
You were there with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake? Yeah.
I was there.
Wow.
And
very
Belichick
far
has talked
away.
about that one, and he
Has he?
says that's the one. He says no one even remembers the game.
Game.
He said,
Patriots won.
you know, we beat Carolina. Nobody remembers that. He says all they talk about is Janet Jackson.
And in here, it's been 6 years since Rihanna has put out a new album. Dave said she's been around for 6 years, and I still
And
don't
you
know
still don't know.
her. Longer than 6 years,
Yeah, it's
actually.
probably 10 years now.
And I know an awful lot of today's singers, but for some reason this girl stayed off my radar.
Rihanna.
You got to start watching the Grammys to catch up. Once a year, you
No.
ought to
Oh,
watch
God,
the
that
Grammys.
is
No.
Well, it's painful,
no.
Painful
but
to
at
watch.
least you'll catch up.
That's
You-
like lukewarm water with salt in it. I'm sorry.
with a cut on your lip.
Well, at least
That's
when
bad.
talk of Rihanna came up, you'd say, okay, I remember her from 3 years ago or something. You know, you know.
All right. Avatar is still at the top of the box office and doing quite well for itself.
Haven't seen it. We
don't
didn't. We
plan
didn't
to.
care for the first one, and it was like everyone
And
gushed
long.
over it, and it was like, and so when this came out, I said to my wife, "Well, we want to go. I guess we're supposed to go to the second one. It's only been every 15 years. Not
He's-
bad.
he's making a
I won't
third.
make the next one."
All right.
And she's like, "Nah, saw it, been there, done that, so we haven't."
All right. It made $31 million over the weekend. The horror comedy Megan came in second, $18 million. Puss in Boots came in third. A Man Called Otto, that is Tom Hanks' new movie, came in fourth. And the action movie Plane came in
We wanted to
fifth.
go see Otto.
Starring
We-
Hervé Villechaize.
No,
we
he passed
tried.
away. You tried to go to see Otto?
We tried, but this is my wife sounding a little curmudgeon-y because she said
The movie starts too late.
kinda.
Ah,
She
close.
said, I don't want to be in a crowd on Saturday at 7:00. This is like on Friday. And I said, well, honey, just go look. See, there must be a 3:00 or something. And I think she had a haircut or something. She goes, well, it has to be whatever. I said, just go look at Saturday and Sunday at the 3:00-ish, 3 or 4 o'clock movies. And she goes, all right, I'll check. She comes back. I said, so we go to the movie? She goes, no. I said, what do you mean? She goes, they were both pretty much full. There was
So,
there was
all
the
right.
back row. I'm not going to the back row. And,
Back row's the best.
I know, for necking. I told her that. But she wants to be where she wants to be.
All right.
And so I said, geez, so to your point, little curmudgeon-y, 4 o'clock show, but the old timers, she goes, apparently the old time, we don't know, we're on the cusp now. Apparently the old timers all fill up the 3 and 4 o'clock shows.
Yeah.
And then the kids go
Later,
you know.
yeah.
Although I'm not sure how many kids want to see Otto.
Not too many.
But
the back row, no one kicks your seat.
well, that's
Ever.
true.
Never,
But
never, never.
There's no seats. These are the recliners.
I know, they
now.
lounge.
We've gone once she
Go take a nap
You say once
time.
never go back. We went to North Attleboro and got in these recliners.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she's
you're like, this
am-
is good. Oh,
no
yeah.
offense to
Feels
Lincoln,
great.
but she's like, I'm not going back to Lincoln. Not until they do this.
Isn't that
I
the
don't know how
place-
they make money.
Isn't that the place that you sponsored Premiere?
That was a long time ago.
Certainly
and yes,
was.
Yes, it was.
Because I remember going to that.
It was Lincoln, I think. Yeah, it was.
No,
Lincoln.
no. It was North Attleboro.
What's it?
It wasn't-
But it was before the stadium seats. The stadium
Right.
seats
Oh, yeah.
are,
The lounges.
are new.
Well, yeah, you're right about that, right.
Yeah, you're probably right. It
And I
was- it
remember
was a
sitting in the
new
back. Do you remember what movie it was? I'm trying to
Godzilla.
remember. It was Godzilla?
Godzilla, yeah. One of them. Not the Raymond Burr one. You know what it was? I think it was the first Godzilla. After
Matthew
Hold the
Broderick?
the Raymond Burr, I don't even know.
Yeah.
The Raymond Burr ones were over for about,
Yeah.
30 years, 35 years.
Sure.
And
And
this
they
was
brought
the
it back.
first new Godzilla. And I thought, okay, that might have some legs. No pun intended. And so we got that. We bought the theater out at like 10 a.m., I think, and filled it up and had a contest and filled it up.
Yeah,
all right.
we did it for the Jerry Lewis Cinema in Cumberland. Remember
Boy,
the
you
Jerry
are
Lewis
really
Cinema?
showing
Boy,
your
that's-
age, Dave. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jerry Lewis.
I didn't own the place then.
No, that goes way back. All right, we've run out of time, so the show's come to an end. Thank you very much for listening in and on this MLK Day. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Well, it's certainly a great start to my day, Joe.
Tom Ward, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, this
See
is
you
Joe
next time.
Callahan. Have a great day. Stay tuned. At the Library with Leslie Page is next, followed by Food
one more
First
thing.
with Karen Zaggari.
One
Tiki
more
Bar
thing
at 6 tonight. Yes, Dave.
Before you go, anybody who wants to know more about celebrations for MLK Day can find it on our Facebook page.
Very good. Thanks, Dave.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
The Rhode Island Department of Administration is seeking proposals